Welcome back. Please call us for any of your questions on Alzheimer's. The number to call is 0808-054-2233. That's 0808-054-2233. And you can also tweet at CTV_Mary A. Now, doctor, usually, according to the risk factors that you have given, somebody who starts to have Alzheimer's would be at home. And in an African home, he'd probably be living with a relative, a son, a daughter.
Yeah.
Would it be easy for such a relative to recognize the person has Alzheimer's? Remember, first of all, dementia is already, it's already a negative thing in people's minds. In those days, I think people are a lot more polite now. They say someone is demented. That means he's gone crazy. So would it be easy for a relative to recognize that this may not be madness, but is just Alzheimer's or might be Alzheimer's?
All right. Thank you very much.
Just before you answer that question,
yes.
Somebody's already calling in. We're having George on the line. Hello, George.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, George.
Please, I want to know Alzheimer. I hope it doesn't lead to killing.
Lead to?
Death issue.
All right. Thank you very much, George.
Mental disarray.
Thank you, George. So he's asking, does it lead to death?
Yes. Usually,
as a direct result of the Alzheimer's?
Usually, Alzheimer itself is not the cause of death in patients who have it. But when it gets to the late stage, patients usually die from other complications, like pneumonia, fall, and all sorts. So usually, Alzheimer itself is not the cause of death, but complication from
Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Okay, so we are back to the question on recognition of the symptoms by someone living in the house with this person.
Yes, I will not say it's easy. I will not say it's difficult. It's just a matter of being vigilant and looking at. So once you notice some changes in issue of memory, like for instance, you just finished talking with somebody, and you cannot remember anything you said, or the person is looking for objects all over the place. You kept the person kept something somewhere and is looking for it all over the place.
Well, you know that happens with things, car keys.
Yes, but that is no, it can happen. But when it becomes persistent,
okay,
it's not just one-off issue, and then the patient we have difficulty navigating around in places, can even wander out of the house, get lost, and all those things. So
let's quickly listen to Chizoba. Hello, yeah. Chizoba.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. What's your question?
Please, I would like to know if there's a cure, for this Alzheimer's. My dad actually is experiencing that. He's about 77 now, and they're not finding it funny, really. It makes him get very violent, very aggressive at times, and he has this anger. It makes him very, very angry and oftentimes so suspicious. He doesn't trust people around him except his children. Is there a kind of a cure, something like drugs? Do we have to place him on drugs or something of that sort?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me even ask you. These are frightening symptoms. She's spoken about violence, anger.
Yeah.
And they're not finding it easy. Are these Alzheimer's symptoms too?
Yes.
But they're not early stage symptoms.
Now, it may occur in early stage, but usually it happens in intermediate and late stage. Now,
she's asking about a cure.
Yes. Well, what I will say is that unfortunately, for now, there is no cure for the illness. There is nothing that stops the progression of the illness, because the more the plaques are being deposited, the disease progresses. Nothing stops the plaque from being deposited. The only thing we do is to just manage the symptoms, symptomatic treatment. So, for instance, the question that she asked, these are some of the neuropsychiatric manifestations of Alzheimer. Patient can become aggressive, can be psychotic, can have depression, all sort of.
Is there a reason for the aggression?
Yes. As I've said before, the Alzheimer affects different part of the brain. As it progresses, the plaque is actually start depositing in so many places, and then when it deposits in area that controls behavior, like frontal lobe. So frontal lobe is the seat of personality. So when that frontal lobe is not working well, there are so many abnormality of behavior that the patient can manifest.
But do you think perhaps some of these strange behavior is that they can't get their message across?
Yes, yes.
Or they feel people don't understand them?
Yes, very important. Patient feels frustrated. They have mood changes. They cannot get their message across. Even if they are thinking, sometimes they might not be able to say what exactly they have in mind. So that frustration can make them to start getting angry, and can have all sorts of manifestation. So, but you see, there is no cure, but we can treat the symptoms, and all these things. There are medications that can be used.
So when you treat the symptoms, you make the person feel better.
Yes.
Is it also able to repress some of these undesirable outcomes, aggression, and all that?
Yes. So for the treatment of Alzheimer's, there are some drugs that can be used. But it's not that the drug will stop the progression of the disease, but it can treat some of the symptoms.
But can the drugs reduce? Can it slow down the progression?
No.
Let's take Debbie. Yeah. Let's take Debbie's call. Hello, Debbie.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Debbie. What's your question?
I need to know, is there a specialist hospital for this illness in Lagos?
Okay, thank you. Is there a specialist hospital?
Now, teaching hospitals where we have neurologists, and the management is multidisciplinary, but the neurologists are the center, as a core.
Why is it multidisciplinary? Isn't it just a matter of the brain?
Yes, but when somebody has Alzheimer, there are so many things that can manifest. So you need a physiotherapist, you need nurses, you need a dietitian, so many people you need. So because once the disease starts progressing, a lot of things start happening. For instance, patient can have difficulty walking, can have difficulty doing things, can be falling. So
is it like the brain forgets how to walk? Or?
Yes, very important. That is what we call apraxia. That is inability to do previously learned skill, motor skill. So the patient may not be able to walk, may not be able to do normal activities of daily living like wearing clothes and all those. Patients become dependent at a stage. So that is where it's a multidisciplinary thing, but the neurologist is at the center. Of the
now, about the specialist hospitals,
yes.
Is it just, can the person just be taken to any hospital, any teaching hospital?
Yes, I believe most teaching hospitals we have a neurologist.
So it's a tertiary hospital thing?
Yes, it's a tertiary hospital thing. But let me just say here that I don't know whether you are still coming to that, but you see, the major aspect of managing Alzheimer is actually non-pharmacological. It has to do with home care, home support, and all those.
We will come back to that.
Okay, all right.
But let's take a short break now.
Okay.
We'll take a really short break, and we'll come back to conclude on the show. Please stay with us.